This meeting is being recorded.
Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cosmic Howling Media. Today is October 12th, 2023. And I'd just like to do a little transition here today in regards to something that's happening to me and my family here in Canada. We're really under siege, if you will, from what's nothing short of the deep state apparatus in place that's that kind of corruption that's affecting all our operating systems, I would propose, medical, education, also the ministries, all the bureaucracies and the governments, etc. And hats off to all the lawful people that are in our country, which is the vast majority, I would propose. And so this is kind of, we're at that moment now where all this is going to really get exposed. And so I'd just like to give a little testimony on what's happening with me and my family, as this is a large issue. This is to deal with the Canadian family and the family of humans on Earth in general. In regards to these dark forces that are still in play here. So basically what happened to me here in Canada is I sent an email to an employee of the school system around here. And I sent a website link with that email. It was in regards to, they wanted me to come down and have a meeting about something. So I said, so at one point I sent an email back and we're going to rendezvous, have a meeting and that. And I sent this website link. It's basically Cobra Portal 2012. If you type that in, it'll bring you to this website. That's not the exact website address. It's, I think, 2012blogspot.com. Cobra Portal 2012. I'll put the link below this transmission. And after I explain what's happening to me, I'd like to actually read some of the recent intel from the Cobra just released from that on his website, which is just massively powerful, awesome intel for us on the surface. We're literally so close to planetary liberation now. So we'll get into that after a bit, and then also after my story about a little bit on what's happening with me and my family under siege right now. And we're doing our best to protect ourselves and, and utilize the laws and stuff like that, and, play by the rules, whatever, all that, eh? So anyways, by sending this website, and I basically said, in case you're not familiar with this website, you may want to check it out. And I think I might have said, my emails, I could show the email, but of course I don't want to show any names or anything. I don't want to bring any harm to anybody, including these people that are, sort of low-level minions that are attacking me and my family in a very serious way right now. It's the opposite. We want to protect everybody, and we just, bring the laws back in. And we'll get into that also, because the Galactic Codex is being restored here on Earth. That's the highest law doctrine in this galaxy. It's what we call natural law, basically, is being restored and enforced, and that's all part of getting planetary liberation is imminent. Absolutely, it has been for a while, and like I say, we'll get into a little bit of that later. But a little bit of my story was what's happening and what's happened to me and my family is by sending that website and saying, like I say, you might be interested in checking this website. 1 or 2 days later, one nurse came and 4 police to my house, my home, and started asking me about this website. I go, and like, it sounded like she thought it was my website or something. I go, well, it's not my website. I just sent it, and if somebody's interested, they're going to, maybe read some of it. If not, they move on. Of course, like any of us, we choose what information we want to explore and read, all that, of course. So, but anyways, I didn't get angry or anything, but I wasn't, I didn't feel very afraid. It's, I didn't do anything, but I had it figured out what was going on. Basically what they call here in British Columbia, they said, okay, we're detaining, or however they worded it. They cuffed me eventually, and brought me to the hospital, a hospital here, Richmond Hospital, Richmond, British Columbia, Canada, Richmond General Hospital. And what I would call illegally detained me and forced me to take psychotropic drugs, which is highly illegal under the Nuremberg Code and the Canada and our local laws here, the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, as well. And I made the first time they basically forced me to. I got close to being pinned down, and they're going to crank a needle in you, like they were going to say. I strongly resisted because it's so highly illegal, and I didn't want to have that put in my body. But so eventually I took it rather than get. Otherwise, I would have got pinned down, like I say, and take a stronger dose, as the nurse said, in a injection form. So literally, yeah, we're forced to take this. And I just want to say one thing about that. There's so much blood that's been spilled of our people that has brought forth what is known as the Nuremberg Code, that I think it's such a great disservice to humanity in general that this is going on, because that was so, so much blood spilled that helped manifest what's the Nuremberg Code, which is part of our international law here on Earth. Okay, so anyway, so basically, I was fortunate. There was a couple of probably psychopaths. One that I ran into that were, one said, "Oh, after I said to this one medical staff member, I said, wow, is there? I'd really prefer not to take these psychotropic drugs. I'm not psychotic, or I'm not attacking. I'm doing nothing wrong here." And with a smile, the person said, I'm upping your dose. And then the person says, we got you booked in now. I just booked you in for a potential 1 month stay here at the hospital, for psychiatric assessment, whatever, all that stuff, And he hadn't even met me yet, So, but anyways, otherwise, there was a couple other staff members there that interviewed me, and I would call them kind-hearted, intellectual psychiatrists, right? Good people. And so thanks to them, within about 75 hours, I was released. And basically, because I guess basically these psychiatrists, the good ones, so to speak, figured there's nothing wrong with this guy, release him. So I got out. But another stipulation, they had phoned the Ministry of Children's Protective Services. And so to this second, I'm by them. They won't put it in writing or anything. I've asked them that, but I'm unable to access my home. I'm unable to go to my home. That's why I'm calling this video "Homeless in America." Because Canada's part of the Americas, of course. And so that's what's happening with me and my family. They've also, as soon as I left, of course, as soon as they cuffed me and brought me in the hospital, their people went into my house and sort of my ex-wife, who's a great mother, and I'm probably a pretty good father. We've never had any problems with the law, and our children, family's been doing great, actually. So, but they sort of coerced her into signing something. That's also with the lawyer, so I shouldn't show that right away. And basically that. A big thing was because they got nothing on us. They know they have nothing on us. There's no doubt, and they do have nothing on us. So we just has to be. The legal process is just starting, so that the legal process will prove that. I've been told that we got a slam dunk winning case. They're being unlawful to you, all this. So that's yeah, and it's easy to see, anyways. But so they basically been, doing some basically their requirement for my ex-wife while I was in there. For days after in the hospital, detained illegally, I would propose that'll, like I say, the legal process has to take place to determine that for sure, or officially, is they thought there was some extra boxes in our house and some extra clothes, but basically our house is clean, and definitely, but they basically demanded, or had her say, you got to clean that up, you got to get rid of that extra clothes, whatever, all that stuff, the boxes. And so that's what she did, right? And they came back and inspected, I guess, whatever. I don't know. I haven't been in my house since September 29th, right? And so they got nothing. So they're just picking, and picking away, chipping away. Pretty crazy stuff, But like I say, this to me is very important, because it's not just my family is and has been attacked by this deep state apparatus. It's all over the world, and it shows rears its ugly face in all sorts of ways. And now, and of course, in Canada over the years, it's become more and more in the open. So openly, I propose our systems have become more openly operating illegally, and this to me is another good example of that. So I just wanted to share that, and it looks good as far as legally and all that, and stuff like that. And we can basically the truth's pouring out either way. And I know in the United States of America, of course, with a much larger population, they have a much larger, Ministry of Protection, Children's Protection Services in the United States. That all that's going to be exposed now, folks, and just a little part of that, of what's really going on. And we need. I just want to say, I think these are can be good policies to have in where if parents are abusing their children for real, physically, sexually, whatever it might be, these are good tools that our society can have in place to protect our children. But in this case, they're using it. There's definitely using it against our people, not just the children, but the parents, everything. Eh? And they've threatened to take my wife. Apparently, is what I'm saying. My ex-wife, that they're basically pretty threatening about we'll take your children and stuff and all that. Eh? So it's pretty serious stuff. So I'll do my best to protect my family. Of course, it's a primordial instinct, la famille, and so I just wanted to share that kind of thing. What's going on here, and other than that, yeah, I want to. Oh, here, I'll let that go for now. That's what's going on there. But I want to share about the secret space program, which I was in for 30 years. I want to tell a quick story on that because that's part of disclosure and it's coming out more and more. And I'd like to continue to help with disclosure. Now, here's a story, one of my memories from the secret space program. I've shared it before, but about this is a little touching on what kind of technology we have in our covert space programs. This is just another glimpse into it. There's lots of great testimony online from many secret space program veterans. More and more. There's hundreds online easily. So I asked one thing to everybody. If there's hundreds of us online claiming off-planet experiences, so tell me, are we all lying? Anyways, okay, let me tell you, let me mention this quick story. I was boarding from the moon, Lunar Operations Center, as we call it, that base. I was boarding one of the shuttles, which is a TR-3 craft, a beautiful craft. Wait till we all get to see that and get right in the nose stuff, man. The TR-3 series, there's about 5 or 6 of them, different sizes, but this was a TR-3B, the more well-known one. And by the way, there's blueprints and stuff online if you want to see about the TR-3, the propulsion systems involved and everything. So when we were boarding, anyways, I won't ramble on too much here. When we were boarding this TR-3B craft, which is, I consider that like the workhorse of the American-based secret space program, man. It's a beauty, eh? But there's lots of other types of craft, of course. And that's a big shuttle. We use that as a shuttle to go from the Earth's moon to Mars, Earth to the moon, Earth to Mars, etc., etc. Eh? It's a great shuttle, eh? Among other things. So we're getting on our shuttle and we're all going to Mars, right? That's when I was actually posted from 10 years I did on the moon, and then I got posted to Mars and worked there for 20 years of the rest of my career in the SSP. So basically, we walked on board, 5 or 6 of us. We're all in medium blue jumpsuits, one-piece uniforms, not quite navy blue, a little lighter than that. And so one of the people who were boarding the craft, out of there's 5 or 6 of us there, was a staff member, was part of the flight crew, right? So okay, so we all walk on board, and we're walking towards the seats, and eventually we're taking our seats. We're grabbing a seat, and the staff member keeps going back right behind the seats to the bulkhead that's there, and she walks right through, right? That's the okay. So I mentioned that that's because she's staff and she's got a device on her and that gives her security clearance. There's she's able to entrance walk right through that bulkhead into areas that are off limits to the rest of us, right? Because we're not flight crew, right? You know, so no hatch, no door required, man. That's the kind of technology I just wanted to share that. That's fucking cool, and like I say, any of us, rest of us would have tried to walk through the bulkhead. It would have been like, boom, you know what I mean? And that, eh? And so there's one story about the secret space program. I want to tell a story about. I was also in the Canadian Navy, not for, only for a couple of years in the '80s, but after that, a few years after that, I went to for a job interview, right? And this is hats off to the Canadian Navy. They've helped me after I got out of the Navy. I'm just saying, there's a lot of whites hats around, folks, and they always have been for a long time. Certainly since the early '60s, like when that's quite a story in itself. So there's a lot of great military white hats that will help us, including after service. We might not even be aware of it, but they care about us, folks. I guarantee, and I care about you, folks. We're a community of military white hats, including the veterans, and it's good to see we're all uniting more and more. I'm a member of Veterans for Freedom. I can't speak for them. That's the leaders, but I'm grateful to be a member of them. And it's such beautiful, awesome, all these military grade light warriors. Uh, uh, you know, delivering all sorts of intel to each other and stories and what we figure is going on in various parts of the country. And hats off to all the positive police groups in our country that have formed in recent times. All the great police, and we're sort of affiliated with some of those groups, like there's Mounties for Freedom and other Police for Freedom groups, and of course the coalition the civilian groups, etc. And I'm a civilian too. I'm not saying, but so hats off to all those, because these groups are more and more growing, and they're all just such awesome Canadians, including the military and police ones. Okay, so Bravo Zulu, we're uniting more and more in a common cause, eh? To sort of get this beast off our back for good, and really be enforce the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. And like I say, the advanced light forces are in the process of enforcing the Galactic Codex here on Earth right now, man. It's happening big time. We'll get into a little reading from Cobra soon here, so that just in case anybody hasn't heard of it, and I'll post the website of the link to the website that I sent to this school employee that apparently sparked all this. That's, if I did anything wrong, that was it. I posted a website, or a link to a website, so which is available to all of us anyways, right? So I have done nothing wrong or illegal, but it's just, like I say, it's got a process. We got to process it legally and stuff like that. But hopefully, like I say, this might help all of us, the whole Canadian family, eh? So we can eventually get this stuff stopped. And when there's interventions and stuff, it's going to be for valid legal reasons. Other than that, leave our fucking people alone. Thank you very much. So, my story about thanks to the Canadian Navy, the traditional military here on Earth, right? That I did a stint in and learned all kinds of stuff and made great friends and experiences and travel, and just amazing, eh? And uh, Canadian Navy, man, fucking le meilleur. Okay, so basically, I went for a job interview a few years after I got out of the Navy, at the Navy base, the same Navy base I was a member of one of the ships on. I was only on one destroyer my 2-year stint in the Navy, and HMCS Capel. Their motto is "Let us be judged by our actions." Yeah, fucking right, motherfuckers. Eh? Let us be judged by our actions, like the warship I served on in the 1980s. Eh? Good old tough Canadian warship, steam driven, man. And so I was a stoker on there for a while, and lots of good travel. The place I was fortunate. I got on a ship that was traveling lots through that couple-year period I was on it. So, anyways, I go to a job interview on that base to work as a civilian on the base, right? In the heating plants in this case, and basically because of my past in the Navy, I got in some trouble for being a drunkard and all that, and ended up in Edmonton in the military prison, right? Military prison and detention barracks in Edmonton, like the federal military prison in Edmonton, the big house kind of thing. And got a 60-day sentence, marched hard, got out in 46 days. So basically, that's, and got out honorably. That's the thing I got to say about the Canadian Armed Forces. You can get into, a lot of trouble and, kind of get, have to go through some punishment. Absolutely. But they're fair like that. They won't dishonorably charge you if you're, in most cases. I know there's certain issues here. We won't get into that. But basically, in most cases, if we haven't done anything dishonorable, we get out honorably. Like I remember flying back after I got out of the Navy, and it was called Royal Canadian Class. I was flying Royal Canadian Class, all the drinks I want, everything. So, hats off to the Canadian Navy. They've been good to me, man. It's fair. They show you, hey, I knew the rules going in and the laws, and so you're gonna break them, bro. Okay, man, but you're gonna have to pay. Might have to take a little bit of go through a little bit of military prison, whatever it is. So because of that, though, they seen maybe this guy, and I'm just forecasting this. Maybe this guy might have an axe to grind with the Navy or something, right? But I certainly never did. I love it. I love what they taught me, and especially the friends you meet, lifetime friends, man. It's fucking awesome. So, anyways, and the food, all that, like food, man. There's three. What buddy was saying? One of the buddies, like they say, 3 hots and a cod, man. I mean, I ain't complaining, man. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I got the job, right? But here's what happened, and it's heart touching for me because I went and had the interview right down on the dockyards and right down on the waterfront. And the chief engineer who I went for an interview to had these big plate glass windows in his office, right? I'm sitting there having an interview. The chief's interviewing me to see if he's going to hire me, right? And what do I see? I see the one ship I sailed on, the HMCS Capel, that was being towed across the harbor right when I started going for an interview, right? And I'm looking out, and I'm not saying anything. I'm listening to the chief, but I can't. It's big plate glass windows. It's beautiful down there. I always loved it. Esquimalt Harbor, the fishing, everything. The crabbing, it's mental. And so, anyways, I'm looking at my old ship. I didn't say anything, but I was like, cool, man. 264. That was the stock number on HMCS Capella, right? And so the chief, at one point, he looks at me with a really stern and serious look, and he goes, "So are you finished with the Navy now?" And I go, so I get, "Oh yeah, for sure, Chief. It was a great experience, but I probably wouldn't join again. I appreciate what they taught me, or I did a few things like that, right? But that was the thing, eh? Basically, and this is just my guess in a sense, but I'm pretty sure that was. You see, they keep an eye on things. Yeah, our military's keeping an eye on the house. The white hats, man. We're talking the good and mostly, and they keep an eye on our house, man. Of course, And so they basically what I'm figuring from them is they just wanted to make sure I didn't go too far off the range, right? So okay, I guess this guy seems what all right. He's had he's had some alcohol problems, obviously, and blah blah blah. But we'll hire him. So yeah, I got a couple of years real good working on the base there until there was a lot of layoffs happened. That was in 90. Yeah, I worked there between 90 and 93, a couple of years worth. And then there was a lot of layoffs. But I mean, it was awesome. I had a nice job working on the bases, so they helped me, including after service. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep the faith. Things are moving real fast now. And let me read from this website, if I may, a recent posting by Cobra. This is the website I sent to the school, and so I can't go to my home still. And, I was friggin' forced into going to the hospital and forced to take psychotropic drugs and all this shit, So, but anyways, and this, to me, one more about this intel I'm going to read. This is the best intel available to any of us on the Earth's surface. I know a lot of us aren't ready for it yet, but here it is, bro. Here's brothers and sisters. Let me read a little bit from Cobra's fresh intel here that's totally mind-blowing, massive, excellent news for all of us in the surface. So, and like Commander Ashtar said recently, stay calm, folks, and stay as positive as you can. Fight the good fight when you need to. When the beast is coming at you, like I'm doing my best to try to, literally survive and protect my family, of course, like we all are. And so let me read, for now, let me read some of this intel that just came out from Cobra. Mind blowing. And one more thing, hats off to the Capo de Tutte Capos, Saint Germain and Commander Ashtar here in Theater of War Operations and their ongoing brilliant works, and all Light Forces members here in Theater of War Operations, below us, above us, and on the surface, of course. Okay, folks, here it is. Here, I'll just dial up this site, and we'll get this rocking here, eh? Let's see here. This is, yeah. Let's see here. We'll get this. Only take a second. Now, yeah, this just came out on October 10th. Cobra released this. Completely mind-blowing. Best intel. I propose this is the best intel that we on the Earth's surface have ever have had since close to 26,000 years. We won't get into that sort of stuff yet. But here it is from Cobra. I'll just put my glasses on here so I can read. Okay, situation update. Tuesday, October 10, 2023. Situation update by Cobra. As it has been said a few months ago, things are accelerating very fast since late September. First, physical biochips have been cleared, and all that is left in those locations in the body is a dead, inactive circuitry of the biochip. These biochip residues are also weak spots through which the lurker can manifest distorted quantum fluctuations and anomalous plasma generated from subquantum unspace. Okay, I won't read all of it, folks, because there's so much, but if you haven't read it yet, folks, please go to it. And let me just read a couple more quotes from Cobra. And then, like I say, hopefully more folks check this out. If it doesn't resonate, of course, but this is, to me, the best intel available, and it's the best intel news in close to 26,000 years, if you will. Okay, here it is here. Let's go. Yeah, I just want a couple of selves here. Yeah. Yeah, it gets into some other really, yeah. Okay, here's a little more excerpts from Cobra's big writing here. There's lots of links he has throughout his intel, his situation update here. Okay, going a few paragraphs down here, Cobra also says, first, the dark forces crossed a certain red line, and as a response to this, the resistance has started taking action. What they are doing must unfortunately remain classified for now, but hopefully I will be able to reveal it soon, says Cobra. And then Cobra goes on to say, let me just say that the dark forces with their collective actions violated a critical mass of galactic codex principles, right? The galactic codex, the highest law doctrine in this galaxy, okay? And legally, the light forces have the green light to intervene on the surface of the planet, regardless of local laws, which surface humanity is not respecting anyway. And that, okay, so I can say personally, for what they're doing to me and my family, obviously they're not respecting our laws here, right? Because I live in Canada, we have very strong, powerful human rights doctrines, the Canadian Constitution and the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, just like the Americans have their great, powerful human rights doctrines and other, especially Western countries, etc. So absolutely mind-blowing stuff. Awesome. This is totally awesome. I'll read just a little more, folks, and then I'll get this thing posted up. Oh yeah, here it is here about the new Capo de Tutte Capos. Not new, but you know what I mean. We've had this is so exciting and awesome. Okay, Cobra goes on here to say Saint Germain, right? He's one of our ascended masters. He's also, if people aren't familiar, Saint Germain has incarnated as Francis Bacon, and he's also incarnated as Saint Francis of Assisi. That's the same soul being that we also know as Saint Germain, the violent flame of Saint Germain, all that. He's also one of the masterminds, or the mastermind, or one of the masterminds of the new quantum financial system that is in process of being manifested here on Earth to replace the old black magic Babylonian system. Okay, so I'll just read this paragraph about a little more from what Cobra's saying here. Saint Germain was given command to all underground and surface operations, and all light forces not limited, but including the resistance in Palladian, Sirian, Andromedan, Arcturian, and Central race fleets are now under his command regarding planetary operations. Ashtar was given command to all near space and space operations. Commander Ashtar and Ashtar Command. If people aren't familiar with Commander Ashtar and Ashtar Command, that's kind of like the special forces of the Galactic Confederation Light Forces, if you will. Commander Ashtar is awesome. Also, folks, if you want pillars of brilliant white light protection from the Ashtar command ships, there's a protocol on this website. We can find that, but yeah, there's definitely some. So there's more and more available energy protections for us here too, folks. That is very more and more highly effective as well. Thanks to more and more of the energies being cleared, the ether's so much clearer now, etc. Oh yeah, and here let's read a little more, and then we'll post. We'll get this up. Now Cobra goes on here, and he says Saint Germain has been given command to the light force. Oh, sorry, Saint Germain has given command to the light forces to immediately start taking action. And on October 5th, the resistance has cleared the vast majority of child abuse locations in the cellars under black nobility castles, rescuing many children. Okay, so that's beautiful. Bravo Zulu, Cosmic Bravo Zulu, to you light forces involved in those operations. You've rescued more of our beautiful children. I love you so much. Thank you, and blessings always. Beautiful, folks, beautiful. Now, so they get lots more writing and all kinds of stuff here. Goes on, and there's all kinds of stuff here, eh? Okay, and just here's another thing, a little more on all other very critical situations going on the Earth's surface right now. Cobra goes on, eventually says, the light forces are doing whatever possible to limit the conflict and prevent it from spreading beyond the Israeli borders. This is why it is of utmost importance for as many people as possible to continue doing the meditation for peace in Israel every 4 hours. Okay, folks, so if anybody meditators and stuff, you really want to help profoundly, is you can, if you choose to, if you'd like to, you can get involved with these mass meditations that are being going on every 4 hours to deliver peace into the Middle East, eventually Israel. And like say, Cobra says, the light forces are doing whatever possible to limit the conflict, and prevent it from spreading beyond the Israeli borders. Bravo Zulu, hats off to all light forces members here in theater or operations, absolutely. And also, here's some really cool intel too. The resistance has used this conflict as a cover to finally be able to start some surface operations, right? They are now actively removing scalar and directed energy weapons from the surface. On October 7th, Hamas started its incursion into Israeli territory, and they have attacked many partygoers near Urim Kibbutz. Using the chaos of that battle as a cover, resistance members were able to partially disable some scalar and intelligence systems at Urim military base just a few kilometers away. Okay, there's a photo and everything here showing where location of that and everything, eh? Now, Cobra also goes on to say, surface operations of the resistance to disarm scalar and directed energy weapons, which are harassing far too many light workers, will continue. You can support their actions energetically doing the following meditation if you feel so guided. So another meditation that's in process that can and is really helping us as well, folks. All that kind of stuff, eh? Let's see here. Oh, there's a little more here. Yeah, and there's it's amazing. There's more and more, folks, lots of links. So, folks, massively profound moment on Earth, and blessings all members of the family of light here in theater war operations. We're close. We're real close to planetary liberation, or also known as the compression breakthrough, where the light forces from below that are doing massive ongoing works from below, the Agarthan light forces and the resistance light forces, and all our light forces from above, like the Galactic Confederation light forces, Commander Ashtar and Ashtar Command light forces, and our own positive secret space program light forces, of course, if you will. Hats off to you, and thanks to. I would propose, and it's just my opinion, The humans have a true voice here now on a mass scale, thanks to Elon Musk and other space program capos, positive space program capos. So hats off and thank you very much to the positive, our people, or we're all our family members of Family Light, but I mean our space program, the positive factions of our space program for all the massive work you're doing, because that's the most underreported of all, perhaps. And that's for reasons, of course. It needs to be covert and classified. So thanks a lot. We've got Twitter. That's Light Forces. That's a Light Forces media empire now. And bravo Zulu to all the, like I say, the Capo Secret Space Program Light Forces capos, eh? And I already mentioned a little story about my time in the Secret Space Program. So, folks, best wishes always. The mast, victory of the light, 4 light, 2 light, in light, be light, sacred light. Salut pour maintenant. Namaste, toute force lumière.